At this time, I'd like to introduce to you someone who is the director at the Urban Hope Training Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it is an incredible ministry. And I get the privilege of spending a lot of the year with this guy because part of the year I actually live over in Philadelphia and love the fact of being able to do that. But this is Jason Holt, and I've asked Jason to be able to talk about why we have a burden for cities. Tell us about that.
I do get the privilege of working with Ed Lewis, and it is amazing because we live in the 5th largest city in the United States, Philadelphia. Anybody out there from Philadelphia? All right. One of the reasons that we're in the city is because that's where people live. We are in a world that has shifted and changed over the past 100 years. You guys are outside of the 3rd largest city in the United States, Chicago. We are here for conference because we want to make a difference in the city because that's where people live, people that don't know Jesus Christ. This is a quick look at the world in some of the largest cities. Just a few years ago, the world became more urban than it was rural. 50% of the people in the world live in an urban area. What's amazing is by 2050, when all of you are my age and some of us won't be here, 72% of the world will live in an urban area. We're talking about people. We live in the city, we work in the city because that's where the people are. You can go to the next slide there. The slide after that one. So that's 50% of the world's population lives there now, 72% by 2050. It's changed drastically in the past 100 years. The next slide. 1900, 2 out of 10 people lived in an urban area. By 2050, another stat, 7 out of 10 people will live in an urban area. Again, that's where people are living. We want people to know Jesus Christ. That's why we care about urban areas. I want to introduce you to some people that are dear friends of mine from Philadelphia. I've been working at Urban Hope for 13 years in North Philadelphia. I met one of the guys up here when he was 6 years old. We do a lot of work with kids because the city is young. There's kids that need to know Christ and their families. My friend Isaiah here, we met when he was 6 years old, and it has been amazing how God has worked in his life. God has brought him to the point where he gave his life to Christ at the age of 12. He led both his mom and his dad to get involved in the church. They gave their life to Christ a few years ago. They were married after being together 25 years. And Isaiah recognized that something else was still missing. Even though your family's following Christ, you're the only one of your brothers that are following the Lord. Other 2 brothers are locked up. They're spending, one is life in prison for murder, the other in a separate murder charge. But you're making a difference in your family, and you realize this year that something else was missing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the thing that was missing for me was just seeing that I have another set of family members, and that's when I go to school, my friends. And my friends are, and they still are, a big impact in my life. So one of the things that I felt like God convicted me to do was invite my friends to church. But not only invite them to church, but when my friends came to church, God gave me the courage and the boldness to speak to them there even more, and just continue that, and yeah.
And you started a Bible study at your school during lunch. You said you began to pray for people at lunchtime. You'd even take prayer requests. In the past 6 months, we're talking just 6 months, how many of your friends have come to know the Lord at school?
I would say a good handful, 5, and just yeah, their names are, one is Alex, Ruben, Jaleel, and then you also have Ralph and Joel here today. And for me, it was very encouraging because freshman year, it was a little tough being one of the only Christians in my school to follow Christ. So it was difficult for me, but sophomore year, I just finished it this right now, and just going to school and having 4 or 5 other believers that's there that not only encourage me, but to keep pressing on. So yeah, at lunch, we would just like read the Bible, and if we're not reading the Bible, we would pray, and just go out and talk to other students that need prayer if we see them, and just say encouraging things to our peers. So that was pretty cool too.
And Isaiah, we're glad that you're making a difference in the inner city where people live. And we want to invite you. There's a new opportunity coming up that Ed's going to tell us about to make a difference in the cities.
Well, I'm privileged to CE National, where our office is located, is in Winona Lake, Indiana. And not long ago, we were contacted through contact with Grace College. And Grace College is beginning, and tonight we're announcing this, Grace College is beginning a new major. And this new major itself, I'm going to ask Jim Swanson to come out. I was just going to say, because this new major in an area like Indiana that's not really filled is a major in studies in urban ministry. And what is happening is they're going to actually begin a new major in a program that is in Winona Lake, Indiana. But the last year of the program, the entire 9 months, are spent at Urban Hope in Philadelphia, and people are learning how to do inner city ministries, how to reach out to people, how to do evangelism, how to do discipleship in an inner city context. And I am really, I've been thrilled with this. And I want to say to Jim Swanson, the vice president at Grace Schools, thank you very much for what you are doing, bro. That is good. And this is starting up this year. So we wanted to let you guys know about it very first. And in order to do this, we've got some shirts that we are throwing out right now. And